for me to be able to maximize my space, I decided to make these racks. And Jenny and I actually worked on these together, so it was a fun project for us. We didn't kill each other, so that was a plus. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are here in the garage for another OG video, and this one isn't so much about a fishing tip as it is about a few things in the garage that I really like. So we decided we would do 4 of my favorite things that we decided to do in this garage and kind of share them with you. We thought that would be a neat tip. We've had a lot of people ask about, different things in the garage, and this is kind of 4 things that I wanted to have in this, okay, to really make it the best fishing garage I thought that it could possibly be. So down here in the main part of the garage, this is just a couple things on it. This is, I believe we did 42 feet deep front to back, 60 feet wide is what the size of this building is. Of course, 4 doors on the front. Well, it makes for a decent amount of wall space, but as much pegboard as I wanted to have, if I were to try to get a lot of pegboard in here, I'd have had to cover every inch of every wall in this place to really have a lot of pegboard. And as a fisherman, man, it's great to have pegboard, be able to hang your stuff up on and be able to just to really take inventory, to know what you've got, to know what you need to get more of. And as the year goes through, it makes it easy to get stuff off of and add it into the boat. So for me to be able to maximize my space, I decided to make these racks. And Jenny and I actually worked on these together, so it was a fun project for us. We didn't kill each other, so that was a plus. We both survived this little project that we decided to take on. But these racks that I ended up kind of coming up with, we did 4 of them is what we did. And the great part of it, it's double-sided, so I've got a full 4x8 sheet of pegboard on this side as well as the other side. So to do that going on the wall, that would add up 16 feet of wall space. You can do the math there. I'm not going to try to do it, but you could figure out the perimeter of this building. I wouldn't have had enough to do 8 sheets of plywood around this building, given the windows and doors and everything else the way it's laid out. So 8 sheets of pegboard is what I've got on these racks. But to make them, it looks like, I'm trying to kind of remember in my head and kind of looking at what we've got here. So we did a frame of 2x4s, so did an outside frame. Each of the vertical ones are doubled 2x4s, and then I've run some studs in there. I think I put them on 2-foot centers. Is what I ended up putting those studs on that are, in between those other pieces of the pegboard. And then just put a 2x4 across the bottom. And that was initially what I did. So I had that double 2x4, 2x4 across the bottom, ran screws in through it, put the wheels on the bottom, and did that all the way across. And I was like, man, this should be good. Started loading those pegboards down, and with those wheels on, started rolling them around, and they were really topsy-turvy. So I went back at that point in time and cut those little triangle pieces of plywood, and that created just an excellent bracing system. So screwed that in, and those little triangle pieces were really the deal that made these things much more solid. So having that piece of triangle brace, out of that plywood material added a lot of strength to it, and there's no give in it now. You can roll that thing around, without any issue, and that was a big deal. I wanted to have these, where I could move them pretty easy, and so we put 5 wheels, 1 there in the center, 2 on each end. And that way, if we're in here filming stuff, if we're, I just want to open the garage up and get these out of the way, I can do that. Just grab a hold of it with 2 hands, push them out of the way. And, that was definitely a great addition. Something that I wanted to have in here to be able to maximize my wall space to where I can, I can hang stuff on the walls, whether it's memorabilia. We've got posters and nets and all different kind of stuff, deer heads, turkey fans, lots of other stuff to eat up that wall space. I didn't want to just have to, deal with it with pegboard for everything. The next thing I'm going to show you is something that we did not have in my initial garage that we had when we built the house here. A friend of mine who's an electrician told me, he's like, man, you really ought to think about doing this. And I said, man, it doesn't bother me at all, to not have that. I didn't think that it would be that necessary or that handy, I guess would be the better way to put it. It's nothing here on the boat. It's actually right up there on the ceiling. So we decided in here, each bay, we did an electrical outlet right up there on the ceiling, just above where the boat, where the motor lands, because that's where your plug-in is for your Minn Kota onboard charger. So it's super simple. You know, that cord just stays there in the ceiling. It's a little short, like 10-foot extension cord, and it's the perfect length. It doesn't even touch the ground when the boat's not in here. It just hangs there and can just, you know, back in. It's hanging right in the right spot. Plug that dude in, and you're charging up at that point. So that was an oversight on the first one. Brandon Brooks, you tried to tell me then to do this. I avoided it, but second time around we didn't miss that one again. Definitely felt like that was a great addition to the garage to be able to, you know, just have that cord there all the time. Final, third one I'm going to show you here is one that Jenny suggested in the initial garage, and myself and Marty Robinson said, "Oh, we don't need that." What was that? And I mentioned Marty because he was our plumber, plumbed the house, he plumbed the garage both. And I told him when we were going to build this garage, I said, "Hey, we're going to put some floor drains in this time." And he didn't fight about it too much on the second go around, but we decided to put in those trench style floor drains. You know, had to put those in before the concrete was poured or anything, and they're all tied in and run out there underground. But yeah, I wanted to put those trench drains in for multiple reasons. You know, we live here on the river. I'm able to pull my tracker right back up here if it's wet or anything, especially, you know, it doesn't have time to dry coming from the river right here. So any water that comes out of it runs right into there. If I've got ice in a cooler, that water will run right out. Even if I forget, you know, we go fishing and catch a mess of walleye and I've got water in a live well, I can just pull the plug and let that water run right into that drain. And it's really easy to do. Even cleaning up in here, I can hose this whole garage out and it run right into those drains, just squeegee it a little bit. So the floor drains was a really nice addition in here. If you're building a garage and you're gonna have a boat parked in it, man, absolutely do some floor drains, because whether you live on the water or not, there's gonna be days you come home, the boat was soaking wet because it's raining or it rained on the way home. It's just a really great way to get rid of that water that you're probably gonna have at some point in time. So the final one, fourth one, what is something everybody, whether you're a fisherman or not, but what do you have to have in a garage to make it complete? It's behind this door right over here. So behind this door, what do we have? We have a bathroom. That's what you gotta have in a garage, man. You gotta have a bathroom to make a garage complete. I spend a lot of time over here and you know, spend a lot of time working on tackle, working on boats, working on crankbaits, working on all kinds of stuff. You gotta have a fully functioning bathroom. Now, one other thing, and I'm not trying to throw Marty under the bus here, he's an excellent plumber, but when we laid it out, we had thought we had our measurements right for just a simple fiberglass shower. Well, when it came time to finish it and we got the measurements on the actual, we were not even close. So it's got a really nice shower in here. I'll you know, after hunting and different stuff, I'll come over here and take a shower before I head over to the house. But nice big sink, toilet, shower. It's got everything you need. That's also a great place to give the dogs a bath. Lizzie likes to do that. 50-gallon hot water heater, and yeah, it's a necessity, absolute positive necessity to have in your garage. So hope you've enjoyed this. I've got business to take care of.